There are three things to think about when you want to find just the right size of bedside table lamp. Hi everyone, it's Carol from Discover Interior Design and I'm so glad you're here. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you three different things to look at and think about when you want to figure out a size of a bedside table lamp for your bedroom. And that's the key because it needs to be for your bedroom because your bedroom is unique because you have specific styles and sizes of furniture. And so it's really important to kind of go through this process that I'll guide you through in this video to figure out what size will make sense with your bedroom. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the concept of scale. And scale is a design principle. So one of those guidelines that we keep in mind when we are creating a design anywhere in our home to make sure that the design is functional as well as beautiful, creating a harmonious look. And scale has to do with size. But what it has to do with more specifically is the relationship between different things in a room and their sizes. And the ideal situation is that everything is in the same scale. So for example, in your bedroom furniture arrangement, where your bed is and your nightstand, and if that's up against a wall, that entire arrangement, that everything that you have in that entire design is in scale with one another, that it relates to one another, that everything relates to one another in relationship to size. What you want to do is figure out the scale or the sense of size that you have with all of your furniture in that bedroom furniture arrangement. So that means taking a look at your furniture and just noticing how that looks and feels to you in regards to size. Could you describe your furniture as being very large or very substantial? Or is it on the more lighter side where it's more refined or delicate? Those are different ways of describing furniture and other things in our room in a way that describes size, but it's talking about scale. Because what we want to think about is finding a lamp that's going to be in scale with our bedroom furniture. So an example of this is this bedroom. We could look at this bed and say that's kind of a large size or large scale bed. First of all, it is large just because of the size of the bed. It's probably like a queen size bed. But because of how the headboard and all of the framing of that bed is designed where it's kind of substantial, and on top of that, it's in a dark color. We could look at that bed and describe it in a way that says that bed is pretty large or pretty substantial. On the opposite side of that would be to look at this bedroom where we could say this bed has a more delicate look to it. It has a lighter look to it. And that scale is just kind of maybe more delicate or refined. And what we ideally want to do is find a lamp that is going to make sense with the scale of what we have going on with our bed and nightstand. So everything is cohesive. And so that means that if we were to buy a lamp for a bedroom with very substantial, heavy type of furniture, it wouldn't really fit or make sense or be in scale if we selected a lamp that's very refined and delicate and tall and thin. And then on the other side of that, if we have a bedroom furniture arrangement that's a little lighter or a little more delicate, we wouldn't want to choose a lamp that's very substantial and is very heavy visually because it wouldn't be in scale with what's going on in that furniture arrangement. So what you can do is just take some time to look at your furniture arrangement and see if you can describe it by size and scale. Look at the framing and look at how everything is constructed. Look at the bedding and the colors that you're using. And overall, if you had to describe it to somebody, what would you say? Would it be very substantial and grand, or would it be a little bit more refined and delicate? So just take a moment to kind of look at your bedroom furniture arrangement and get a sense of the scale of all of that. Because when you do and go out and look for a bedside table lamp, you will narrow down your choices right away, because you'll know that you'll need to buy something in a certain scale that will make sense for your bedroom. And then the other part that we want to look at is the practical side of everything, because we want to make sure we have adequate light coming from our bedside table lamp. So there's a couple things to keep in mind so that you know how high or how wide a table lamp should be, so it makes sense with your bedroom furniture arrangement. And the first thing to think about is the overall height of the lamp. That's including the base and the shade. And ideally, when we're sitting in our bed, we want to have the shade low enough so that when the light comes out from the bottom of that shade, it shines down onto our hands while we are reading a book or looking at our phone. And if it's too low, it's not going to be at that level for us to see anything. And also, it's just not going to be enough light. And also, what can happen if the light is too low, we are seeing the top of the shade, where maybe we see the light bulb and glaring in our eyes, and that's not a comfortable thing to have happening. If the lamp is too high, where the lampshade is maybe at our eye level or higher, well, it's almost like that lamp and that light is shining down on us, and it's creating shadows, and it's also too far away to help us see things clearly. So there is a range that you can look at to know what size or what height of lamp will work for your bedroom. So what you need to do is just sit in your bed and bring a tape measure with you and measure from your nightstand up into maybe your chin, and picture that a lampshade is at that level. And that's kind of a nice level, because that's where that light will come out and shine down upon the book that you're reading. And then also think about, could it be lower? How about below your shoulder or at your shoulder height? And that could provide enough light. So I want you to just make a note of that. What would be the lowest measurement that would make sense for you to be able to see things clearly that you're holding in your hands? The other part I want you to think about is what would be the highest level that would make sense. And so that's measuring from your nightstand again, and how high can you go up before that lampshade would be below your eyes or above your eyes, and where it would cast too much shadow and where that light may glare in your eyes. And I want you just to kind of make a note of that. Now, the reality is that each bedroom furniture arrangement is a little different. Everyone's nightstand is a different height. Everyone's bed is a different height. And of course, all of us are different heights. And so what we're trying to do is just to figure out a range and to take that information with us when we go look for a lamp, knowing what's the highest point that a lampshade would be comfortable, but also the lowest point. And just to have some sort of range in there that would provide adequate lighting for you. Then the other thing to think about is the base and your lampshade and how wide those are. In general, it's nice if your lamp base is not so big that it takes up the entire space on your nightstand. It's nice to have space for other items on your nightstand. Whether you place your lamp centered on the nightstand or to the side, it's nice to make sure that your lamp isn't taking up that entire nightstand. If a lamp base is almost the same size as a nightstand, it's kind of overwhelming for that nightstand. and on top of it, it will look a little top heavy, where we almost look at it and we may get a sense that lamp could just like tip over because it's just overwhelming and way too wide and big for the nightstand. And then for the width of a lampshade, it's nice if the lampshade fits within the width of your nightstand. So just take a look at the width and the depth of your nightstand and look for a lampshade that will be a little smaller than the width and depth of your nightstand. And then another neat essential part of finding a bedside table lamp in a size that will work for your furniture arrangement is also to pay attention to design details. And what I mean by that is that depending upon how light or dark a lamp base is, or what sort of texture is applied to that lamp base, that is going to affect how we think that lamp base looks and feels in regards to size. So for instance, a lamp base and shade that's in a light color is going to look lighter and more delicate compared to a lamp base and shade that could be in a much darker color, where that may have a more substantial or heavier visual weight to it. Another example would be thinking of the form of the lamp base itself. Is that lamp base a solid form, or is it more open or clear? A lamp base that is more solid is going to have a heavier look to it and looking more substantial compared to a lamp base, say, that has a wire design to it, where it's kind of open and we can kind of see through the lamp base. That provides a very different look. It provides a much more delicate and light look compared to something that could be more solid. And then another thing that will give us the illusion that a lamp looks and feels larger or smaller will be textures and patterns. If a lamp has very large patterns or textures and lots of contrast, then that is going to have a much more heavier look to it compared to a lamp that is smoother or has smaller patterns or is much softer in contrast. And that will create a lighter and more delicate design. So if you have a bedroom design that is kind of substantial and you want to find a bedside lamp that is in scale with that, that kind of has that same look going on, but maybe you want to lighten it up a little bit. Well, maybe that's where instead of choosing a darker color of that lamp, maybe you choose a lighter color instead, just to kind of lighten things up a little bit. So after you have all of this essential information about knowing the scale of your bedroom furniture and your bedroom furniture arrangement, and keeping that in mind to choose a bedside lamp that will complement that and be in scale with what you have going on, and also measurements that are unique to you to make sure you're going to have enough lighting, then you'll be ready to go to look for a bedside table lamp. One thing to keep in mind is that lampshades can be replaced. So say you do buy a bedside table lamp and the lampshade doesn't seem to be working. Well, look for a different size or a different shape that will work better with that lamp base and for your bedroom. And many times when we do shop for table lamps, those bases and shades are sold separately, which is a good thing because then we have some flexibility to find just the right shade that will go with that base. And when you do buy your bedside table lamp and you're sitting in bed and just enjoying having your new table lamp there, but you notice that you can maybe see the top of the shade and kind of into the shade where maybe even the light bulb is kind of glaring in your eye a little bit. One thing that you may want to do is look for what's called a diffuser, which is just a piece of translucent acrylic that can be placed at the top of the shade to cover up the light bulb while still providing a nice soft light. So I hope all of those tips and ideas were helpful to you in figuring out a bedside table lamp size that will work for you. And if you have any ideas of other things we can think about to look for a size that will work for our bedrooms, please share your ideas in the comments and also let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.